Before Google, before AOL, before anyone even said the word internet, France had already built it. It connected millions of homes. You could send messages, read the news, buy tickets, even meet people online. It was fast, it was free, and it launched in the early 1980s. They called it Minitel, the world's first digital network, a working version of the future, decades before the rest of the world caught up. But like every invention that arrives too soon, it didn't survive the world it created. This is the story of how France built the internet before the internet, and why no one remembers. Welcome to Missed Futures, the series where we explore the technologies that arrived too early, and the visionaries who paid the price for being right too soon. Because sometimes the future doesn't fail because it's wrong. It fails because it's ready too soon. And few stories show that better than Minitel, a digital revolution that happened in silence and then vanished. The year is 1982. Phones are wired, computers are rare, and the word online means nothing. But in France, something strange is happening. Millions of citizens are being given a small beige box, a terminal with a keyboard, screen, and phone plug. It's free. And once you connect it, the world opens up. You can check the weather, find train times, look up phone numbers, order flowers, send messages. It's like having the internet 20 years early. And it wasn't built by a Silicon Valley startup. It was built by the French government. In the late 1970s, France had a problem. Its phone books were outdated, expensive, and slow to print. So the National Telecom Company, PTT, came up with a radical idea: replace every printed directory with a digital one. They would give every household a small terminal for free and connect them all through telephone lines. What started as a directory quickly became something else entirely, because once people had screens in their homes, they started asking for more. By 1983, Minitel had become more than a phone book. It was a marketplace, a messaging system, a news platform, and for the first time in human history, a place to chat with strangers. France had built an online society before the web existed. You could read headlines in real time, check your bank account, even reserve train tickets or order groceries, all through text-based menus. It was clunky, sure, but for millions, it felt like magic. The future wasn't in America. It was in France. By the late 1980s, more than 9 million Minitel terminals were in use, serving over 25 million people. That's almost half the French population connected to a digital network before most of the world had seen a modem. There were over 23,000 services online: chat rooms, dating sites, bulletin boards, games, and even stock trading. And it all ran on simple phone lines. No browsers, no computers, no modems to buy. For an entire generation, Minitel was the internet. But the rest of the world barely noticed. In the 1980s, the US tech scene was exploding with personal computers. Apple, IBM, Microsoft, all focused on selling machines, not networks. Meanwhile, France had already created what everyone else was still dreaming about: digital communication. But the problem was scale. Minitel worked beautifully in France, but it was too centralized to export. Every service ran through state-controlled telecom lines. Every terminal was the same. Every connection was billed per minute. It wasn't open. It wasn't chaotic. It wasn't the internet. And that's what doomed it.
Minitel wasn't just used for news and travel. It also became home to something more controversial: the Minitel Rose. Adult chat rooms, private conversations, entire businesses built around anonymous connection. For some, it was liberation. For others, it was scandal. But it proved something powerful: that people craved connection, not just information. France had discovered the social internet before Facebook, before MySpace, before anyone even thought of social media. As the 1990s arrived, the world began to change. The internet, the real internet started to grow, and suddenly everyone wanted to be online. Except this time, it wasn't controlled by governments. It was open, global, wild. Minitel's system, once revolutionary, now looked ancient. The menus were text-only, the screens were monochrome, and developers couldn't innovate freely. The thing that made Minitel safe, its control, was the same thing that made it obsolete. By 1997, the writing was on the wall. France Telecom tried to modernize Minitel, adding color, graphics, even web gateways, but the momentum was gone. People were buying PCs, the World Wide Web was spreading like wildfire, and Silicon Valley had claimed the future. In 2012, yes, 2012, Minitel finally went offline. After 30 years of service, France quietly disconnected the network that had once connected the world. Millions of terminals went dark, and an entire digital civilization vanished overnight. Minitel wasn't just a network, it was a philosophy. It believed the future should be shared, not sold, that access should be free and technology should serve everyone, not just consumers. It was built for citizens, not customers. And maybe that's why it died. Because while the rest of the world chased profit and disruption, France built something too pure, a future that worked but couldn't compete. So what if Minitel had gone global? What if it had inspired Silicon Valley instead of being ignored by it? Would Facebook still exist? Would we have the same open internet today, or a more human one? What if the internet had grown out of public good instead of private greed? Maybe online life would feel less like a marketplace and more like a community. The story of Minitel isn't just about technology. It's about timing, culture, and power. Because innovation isn't always measured in speed. Sometimes it's measured in values. France built the internet before the internet. But in a world obsessed with competition, cooperation never stood a chance. For 30 years, a quiet network connected millions, sharing news, ideas, and even love through blinking screens and beeping modems. It wasn't Silicon Valley that invented digital connection. It was France. And when the world finally caught up, it had already moved on. The future was born early and buried just as fast. Thanks for watching Missed Futures, the series that uncovers the innovations that came too soon and the people who dared to imagine tomorrow. If you believe connection should have meant more than clicks, subscribe and join us next time as we explore another invention that predicted the world before the world was ready.